Hi, we're the Rescues, and this is
A-size.
Sides.
I'm Kyler.
I'm AG.
And I'm Gabriel.
What's up, guys?
What's that?
What's up? You've caught us in we're in the middle of tech, and we have found a stairway in which there are no human beings.
And oddly very well lit.
And it's very,
I was gonna say it's you have no right to have better lighting than me.
Got a lot of reverb, delay, natural.
We could just do a whole show.
We should probably explore using this space.
So how do you guys get involved with this? But I want to jump to my second question first, actually. So don't answer that yet. Tell me about your love for the Lost Boys movie first, because I'm curious, because it must be like amazing to write for this movie. I mean, it's such a classic in all the amazing ways. Like some 80s movies don't hold up, and I feel like this does, even though some of the stuff and the style and blah 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 doesn't, but it still like works and it's still amazing in every single way. So I'm going to start with that.
We can answer both of those questions in one with one answer.
Get it, Gabe.
Yeah, because basically the way that this happened for us was it sort of like fell out of the sky. We were playing a show in Los Angeles in
2021.
At the end of 2021, and the producers were told to go to this show by Michael Arden, who had been a fan of ours, and when he was hired, he was like, I know who should do the music. It's these guys, and you should go see them when they're playing a show right now. So they came down to see us, and after the show, they like pulled us aside. They were like, "Do you want to write music for a Broadway show?" And we were like,
We're like,
"What?"
huh?
And when they mentioned the Lost Boys, Adrian was like
Duh.
all
Oh
in.
yeah, I love that movie. I love all things vampires.
We all had sort of like a different response. I was like, I've never seen that movie. Adrian was all in. What was your deal?
I was like, in LA, you never know if stuff is for real. So I was like, a healthy dose of skepticism. But I remember the movie, we're all 80s kids. And I remember having seen that movie when I was a kid. And like, we would not, my sister and brother and I would not have gotten to see that at our house, but at our friend's house. Like, they were cool. They had like laser discs and shit. And they had, MTV. We didn't have MTV. But anyway, we got to see it at their
You didn't
house.
have MTV.
We didn't. No, because we didn't have cable. My parents were
Okay.
hippies, we had ATV, but we did not have cable.
Okay.
But we got to see the movie at their house, and I remember thinking it was so cool. And when we went back and watched it with the eye of, not having written for Broadway before, but just kind of like taking it in as a story. I think one of the things we realized and we've come to like really, really appreciate is what you were saying, is that the bones of the story are so good and the characters are so great and lovable. And it was so much, there was also room for us to contribute and bring something to it. So it's just been the perfect thing to write for. I'm going to turn off my mail so it doesn't beep again. Sorry about that.
I didn't hear anything. It's fine. What about the music? Because that's the other thing. Like, when you're going in and you're writing, the music for it, were you inspired by the soundtrack? Because I'll go one step further and say it's one of the best soundtracks ever. So talk to me about that.
I mean, Cry Little Sister has, is poking its head in this show for sure. We wanted to pay homage to the soundtrack in some way, and so Cry Little Sister, especially the chorus of it, it's like really, it happens a few different times, and so that's kind of how we pay homage to the soundtrack, which was pretty fantastic for sure. I think that like we wanted to create a world that was inspired by the soundtrack, but that was a bit more timeless and a bit more us and a bit more varied in vibe.
Also, the songs in the movie are not used. They're really used to create an atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And while that is also true of the songs in this show, the songs have a greater load to carry. We have to do, we're telling a lot of the story through the songs.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like there's a combination of those things. But yeah, I think it's more, we were using them as a point, the songs from the movie is more of a point of reference um, than using
Emulating.
material or
Yeah.
emulating, yeah.
Right. And it's not a jukebox musical either. So
No, we
yeah,
wrote all the songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what was this process like for you guys? I mean, jumping into a Broadway show and you know, because individually you guys already have your own history, not just as a band, but like, as individuals. So what was it like? And did you kind of, I don't know, was there like fighting? Tell me about fighting. Did you guys was there arguing? I don't
We
know.
never fight.
Oh, we never fight.
No, we've been a band since like 2007,
Yeah.
so we fight really well.
Yeah, we
now.
fight
Yeah.
really
We fight with a lot of love.
Yeah.
We do it.
There's a common goal, right? So
respect.
And there's a shorthand, and there's
Yeah.
Trust,
there's like
respect.
a ton and trust, respect, and a ton of grace. Just like, but yeah, like we just like dove in when we got asked to do this, and we started out. Adrian had the great idea to write like 3 songs. I don't think they officially asked us to.
No,
but
that was
Did they
it was
officially?
it was sort of like an audition, and they paid us a little dough to do that, and then we wrote the songs, and then we presented them, and 2 of the 3 songs are still in the show, which is kind of unheard of. So that's really cool.
We sort of had to, I mean, to your point, we did sort of have to relearn how to be a full-time band again. Like we had been signed to a major label, and we had toured together, and we had done a bunch of stuff, and we were very active for a period of time. And then we were sort of on our own, doing our own thing for a long time. And so there was always a thread that was maintained. We were always playing shows here and there, but and writing here and there, but to sort of suddenly jump into something that was like basically more than full time was we were game for it, and it was hard, and we're still working at it.
Yeah. No one said like, here's your schedule. We need, delivery of X songs by X date. They just said go. And because this is our first time, we didn't know that people often are juggling multiple projects and they're nibbling. And we just like, we wrote our first, just take of the whole musical in 6 months. A lot of that stuff went bye-bye. But like,
Yeah.
we just like 5 days a week, full-time job. We just like dove in. And I mean, that was in part because it was really exciting.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
we
fun.
loved trying to like the puzzle of it is so fun, like trying to figure out like how to communicate what you need to communicate like in a song to develop the character, advance the plot, get the right tone for that character, their personality. And it was pretty joyous, with some fighting.
Well, and it also became clear sort of early on that that by having some songs early, that we could drive the process faster.
Yeah.
So like we could give Arden and our producers and our choreographers and everybody else on the team ammunition to push their train forward. So it was helpful for us to get in early, make stuff, and then that sort of like made the train leave the station a little faster.
Well, because we also co-orchestrated, and we were kind of working on the demos and the sound and the sonic world, as we were writing the songs simultaneously. We weren't just writing like piano vocal demos.
Right.
So we were building the sonic world at the same time, which was really fun.
And that sort of came up today, even like when you look out into the theater, there's a connection between the sound of what we made very early on and what you see here. And it's sort of like, and in how the scenes play out. So like it's all connected. And I think it was like important for us to drive from the beginning with the music, and then everybody on the team does what they do with that information.
No, do you guys feel any pressure during any of this? Because I mean, I like for a couple of reasons, right? Okay, first Broadway show, that's pressure enough, right? But then there's this like beloved movie cult classic too, right? I started off before I hit record and told you like I have a film series, and literally the first movie I picked was Lost Boys, right? Do you feel any pressure at all? Like, oh my God, there's a lot of Lost Boys fans, right? This music has to be perfect, right? And also like I'm telling you this, and you're like, shut the fuck up, John. But like, do you feel that pressure too? Or like once you're actually just kind of at work, you're just focusing on the work and then you kind of just see whatever happens.
I think, I mean, there's the most pressure ever, and a lot of it is because, we're making an enormous musical and it's the first time we've ever made a musical at all. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of writing on it for a lot of people. I think in terms of like, are we scared that Lost Boys fans aren't going to like the music? We're not really scared of that. And we
Yeah.
think that they will be pleasantly surprised about how this musical is different from the film. And then they're also going to get stuff from the film. There's going to be moments where they're gonna be like, oh, I love that they kept that, or oh my gosh, that like 80s element is like reminding me, we're not really worried about that.
Well, and that's in part because like from the beginning, we set out to pick out specific moments to pull from, either lines that we wanted to put into song or just little Easter eggs from the film. Like we really wanted to honor the moments that we thought the fans would miss if they weren't there.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they appear in exactly the way that they do in the film. But yeah, I think Lost Boys fans will be excited. I mean, not everybody loves everything.
Right.
But we wanted to make something that not only Lost Boys fans could and would love, but that like everybody would love. Like I think this it's a large cast, which is like both a blessing and a curse. But in terms of like making sure all the mouths are fed and all the stories, the characters are developed. But the beauty of that is like there's someone for everyone in this cast, of characters and in their story arcs. There's someone to love, there's someone to, identify with. And that's a really cool thing. And so I think there's it's possible that a lot of people will really like it, and the Lost Boys fans.
Well, I mean, I love it because we kind of live in a lazy world, right? So I think the lazy way would just be like regurgitating an old classic.
Right. Well, so
So,
I was gonna mention that exact thing. What we're not doing is putting the movie on a stage.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right. What's the point?
Because there's no reason for anybody to do that. So we are, I think what we are doing and what everyone on the whole team has always sort of like had in mind is essentially expanding the universe. It's not a sequel or a prequel or anything.
Like
Right,
a
it's
companion.
the story.
It's like a companion.
It's a companion piece.
It's a different way to look at the Lost Boys that I think you will always have haters, and there's nothing we can do about that.
No.
But we've done everything that I think we can do to make it feel tonally like it's in the zone, and also give people a lot of other shit that they're gonna dig.
yeah. So no interpretive like Corey Feldman dance numbers or anything.
Right, like, exactly. Like it's you're gonna have to wait and find out.
I'm excited about it. Have you test drove any of the songs like on your own as a band? Like, have you? I've seen that you guys have been like popping up doing performances here or there.
Yeah, we've been incorporating several songs into our set at shows for the last like year or two. And that's fun because we sang on all the demos and we've been hearing ourselves sing these songs for quite a while. But it's even more exciting to hear our cast sing them.
They're
now.
so amazing. Oh my God.
We're tired of hearing ourselves sing
Yes.
them. Our cast, they are extraordinary. They're so talented as singers and actors, and they're such kind and generous humans, and they're bringing the story to life in like such a beautiful way. And Michael Arden is an incredible director. He's so good with people, and always has just such a strong vision.
So when we
So,
played it at Joe's Pub, for example, we had Shoshana Bean and we had Paul Nolan and we had LJ and we had
The Lost
Maria, all the Lost Boys. Like that is like it like makes our lives easier when we play, first of all, because we don't have to think so much. And second of all, it's just like total,
so
it's like bringing in, I don't know, it's like bringing in a ringer
Mhm.
to crush these songs.
Mhm.
And it's such a joy for us to do that. Like it's,
Mhm.
and it also, you know, they sound a little different when we play them. They sound more like our band and less like the show.
Mhm.
But, you know, there's crossover.
And now that you're like kind of in the home stretch now, like how are you guys feeling? Like, I mean, what is it, like 3 weeks or something before? Well, I'm not going to put weeks or anything because God knows when people are going to watch this, but like you're in the home stretch now, right? So previews are going to start. And how are you guys feeling overall?
Excited and nervous, which
Yeah.
they say that those things are actually like in terms of like how they affect your nervous system, it's like exactly the same.
Yeah.
So like just I'm trying to tell myself I'm excited when I'm actually feeling nervous. May have lost some sleep here and there, but it's like the most thrilling thing of a creative lifetime to do this. So
Yeah.
we're just psyched.
Yeah, it's so big, the whole thing. And I think that we're all just sort of trying to like take deep breaths, go to the gym, walk through Central Park,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not get too overwhelmed by it. Because I think when we spend too long in the theater, it can be really overwhelming, I think, and the more that you hear people talk about it, that's overwhelming.
Mm.
And all we can do is like, you know, tomorrow will be good. We're gonna like meet with the band and like get everything
That's right, first
sounding
band
better,
rehearsal.
and like that's exciting. Like so that we're trying. I think that staying focused on the work and trying to make everything as good as it can possibly be for the first preview, and then within previews continue that. I mean, but yeah, it's overwhelming. The whole thing is overwhelming.
It's like the biggest trust fall of our lives. Like all we can do is like play our position on the field to the best of our absolute ability.
Right.
Trust everyone else is doing the same thing and communicate with them.
Mhm.
And I don't know, that's kind of beautiful in itself.
Yep.
You know?
I think the rollout has been beautiful, by the way. I think with the since the first announcement of this, with the Instagram and with everything, like I followed it and the 3 songs that you released on Spotify. Like I think the rollout, just as a fanboy, you know, in terms of the original, I think the rollout's been great. So
Great.
um
Awesome.
anyway, I'm excited. I'm psyched to see
Great.
it. Congrats, guys.
Thank
Would,
You.
would you do this again? Like, would
Yes.
you like do another musical? This is like your wheelhouse now, or what are you thinking?
We've already decided we're doing it again
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
again and again.
We're smitten.
Awesome.
And
Good,
bitten.
good luck, you guys. I'm psyched.
Thanks,
Thank you,
man.
Ron. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Cheers.